Welcome to the Get Organized HQ podcast. I'm your host, Tasha Lawrence. Every week, we share practical strategies for less stress and more peace as we dive into all topics life and home organization. I'm so glad you're here for this week's episode. Well, it's time for part 3 of Get Organized Once and For All. We've been talking through some of the principles of getting and staying organized. These are perfect for you, whether you already have organization systems and solutions in place that you're wanting to maintain, or if you're trying to set up your solutions for the first time. We've talked about habits. We've talked about tackling the most difficult tasks first. These are in the previous episodes of this series. You can go back and catch them if you've missed them. But today, we are going to talk about what to do on the bad days. Here's a thing that I've noticed. A lot of our focus at Get Organized HQ, a lot of the online resources that you'll find from other content creators online, maybe on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, they are going to talk about setting yourself up for success and making a plan for how you want your days to go. And I think that's great. I think that setting yourself up for and planning for success is a great way to get there. You want to plan for what you want. And so it's excellent to come up with a cleaning routine that you want to follow, to decide what your habits are. I mean, that's what we talked about in the first episode of this series, right? We talked about deciding exactly what you want to do and when you want to do it. But I also think it is very, very important to realize that there are going to be bad days. There are going to be days when we don't do our habits for whatever reason. So I gave the example of my devotional time in the morning. I absolutely have days where that doesn't happen. There are going to be days where you do not do the hardest task first and you let it hang over your head all day. And maybe you get to the end of the day and you have to cram it in, or you go to bed and it's still there lingering in the back of your mind. The dishes are going to pile up. The laundry is going to sit in the washing machine overnight. An important document will go missing, all of the things. And the reason that I can say with such certainty that that will happen is because that is a real life. And real life happens to everyone. Even with the best habits and the best systems, you can have the perfect planner, all of the pens and washi tape and color-coded systems. You can have a beautiful meal plan printed out and pinned up on the side of the fridge and chore charts ready to go for everyone to check off what they're doing to keep the house clean. And I am just telling you right now, there are going to be bad days. There are going to be interruptions. There are going to be sicknesses that throw you off. There are just things. Things are going to happen, okay? And so how do we handle those days? Especially when we think about getting organized once and for all and wanting to maintain the systems that we've set up, bad days really kind of start to fly in the face of our systems. These systems were there to keep us on track, and it would be great to just not have any of the days where things get thrown off. But how we handle the bad days is actually going to make a really big difference in our long-term success. And so I want to encourage you on those bad days to do what you can. Take a baby step in the direction that you can go. And I want to actually give you an example from our Get Organized HQ Insiders membership. So we have a membership and we do little organizing challenges in there. We have a bunch of printables in there, like all sorts of different things. There's a community of women who are just trying to get their life organized. And this was actually a few years ago, but we did this laundry challenge. And so we told all of the Get Organized HQ Insiders, we said, hey, do one load of laundry every single day. And I think it might have been for a month or something like that. But it was like our laundry challenge, just like get back on top of your laundry. I know I need that so often. I'll tell you, the thing I'm worst at doing consistently is my laundry. And one of the participants in the challenge posted in our community, and she said that it just kind of hit her that she was not going to be able to complete the challenge. And I actually can't remember the details of why. It might have been a chronic health problem, or maybe some family emergencies came up, or maybe work was busy. I mean, we all know and experience the kinds of things that happen. And she was like, it's not going to happen. But I love what she said of her own accord. She said that she adjusted the challenge for herself. So the challenge was every single day, wash, dry, and put away an entire load of laundry. And she said that for herself, she decided that what she was going to do is pick up the dirty clothes off of the floor every single day. That was her new laundry challenge. It probably wasn't going to make it to the washing machine on most days. If it got in the washing machine, it may not go to the dryer. It definitely may not get dried and then folded and put away. but she was going to get the dirty clothes off of the floor because that is what she could do. And so for the whole week, that's what she focused on. And that is exactly the attitude and the mindset that keeps you moving forward on the bad days, to do what you can. And so, what is your goal for your home? Is your goal to have a clean and tidy home? Is your goal to keep things decluttered and organized? Is your goal to have a meal planning routine that works and makes dinner time not stressful? What is your goal? And what can you do to move in that direction, even if you can't 100% complete whatever it is that you're trying to do? So maybe your goal is to wake up every morning to a clean kitchen. That has been a game changer for me. I absolutely love waking up to the kitchen clean, the countertops clear. It just feels like it sets my day off on the right foot. But if I'm having a day and it's just not going to happen, we have a really busy night, dinner dishes are still all over the counter, and it's like 9:30 at night, and I want to move towards going to bed. I do not want to take all this time to clean the kitchen. What can I do to move myself in the right direction? Can I pile the dishes in the sink instead of leaving them spread out all over the counter? Can I load the dishwasher? Maybe there's some things that would need to be hand washed and that would take a little bit longer, but do I have 5 minutes to load up the dishwasher and go ahead and run that so at least those dishes are done? Can I at least get trash off the countertops? It seems like so often it's easy for lots of trash to pile up, either from packaging, from things that have been cooking, or mail that came in. Can I at least pick up the trash and put that into the trash can or the recycling so that's not going to be on my countertop first thing in the morning? Think in that mindset, whatever your goal is. If it's to have a clean kitchen in the morning, if it's some routine that you're trying to establish, what part of it can you do? What baby step can you take in the direction that you want to go? Success really isn't all or nothing. It is a direction that you are moving in. So if you are moving in that direction, then you are succeeding. And the other thing to keep in mind is do not give up just because you messed up. And I'm actually going to tell one of Laura's classic stories here. Some of you who've been around for years and years may have heard it before, but this was so long ago. It was actually before I was even with Get Organized HQ. I was not part of the team yet, but she did a clean sink challenge. Apparently, we are into 30-day challenges around here. And so the clean sink challenge was for 30 days. Everyone was going to go to bed with all of their dishes clean. And she made this really nice printable and she emailed everyone. Like, this wasn't only for the Get Organized HQ Insiders community, this was for every single follower of Laura's on her email list, at least. I'm not even sure where else she publicized it, but like, this was a big deal. We were all going to do this challenge together. And she printed out her printable, put it up by her sink. And I don't know, the first day, maybe the first 2 days, fantastic. Got her dishes cleaned, checked it off the list. Well, it was on day 2 or 3 that she completely spaced it. I mean, did not even cross her mind. It was not that she was thinking, oh, you know what? I don't want to do the dishes today and I'm just going to skip. It was just one of those really busy days. They had things on in the evening. She got home. She got done with what she absolutely had to do. She went to bed and she woke up the next morning, and that is when it hit her. I just started and publicized this huge wash your dishes every single night before you go to sleep for 30 days straight challenge, and I have already failed. And she was the one who created the challenge. And she talks about how in that moment, she kind of had this moment of decision. And part of her wanted to go take that printable off of the wall, never talk about the challenge again via email. Like, certainly don't admit to everyone that she had failed the challenge and just pretend it had never happened and move on. But there was another part of her that said, you know what? This is a 30-day challenge. There are 29 other days in the challenge. Yesterday was only one of them. And wouldn't it be so much better to look at a period of time of 30 days and to know that 29 of those days, I went to bed with a clean sink? Yep, one of them totally forgot, spaced it, missed it. But 29 out of 30 really isn't bad. And so that's what she did. She continued with the challenge and got her dishes done every single day for the rest of the challenge. And I think that is such an empowering story, because you can't just give up when you mess up. That is actually when failure comes. Failure is not missing one day. Failure is not forgetting to do a habit one day or just having one of those days where you feel like you get absolutely nothing done. Failure is when you allow that to affect you so deeply that you continue to not get anything done the next day and the next day and the next day because of that one off day that you were having. It really goes back to what we were talking about when we were discussing habits in an earlier episode, but consistency is so much better than having a perfect streak. And that is because consistency is attainable. And we are reaching for what is attainable. We are not reaching for perfect homes. And so, on your bad days, when you're struggling to keep up with your routines, when you're completely wiped out, when you're sick, when the family is sick, when you get a phone call that derails you for 3 hours in the afternoon that you had no idea was coming, and your entire day is just thrown, I want to encourage you, do what you can, keep moving in the direction of success. And don't throw in the towel. Tomorrow is a new day. Get up tomorrow and do what you can tomorrow. I bet you that if today's a bad day, tomorrow will be a much better day. Now, next week, we are going to talk about another potential pitfall to maintaining your organized spaces and systems. And I had hinted at in an earlier episode that we were going to talk about how to get more time back in your day. And if habits are the way to get more mental energy back in your day, then what we're going to talk about next week is really the one way that I think that you can get more time back in your day to put towards the things that matter the most to you. So be sure to tune in next week when we're going to dive into that topic.